Let's call to order. Are we ready with recording and everything?
We are, yes.
Let's call to order this meeting of the Town Council, Town Pension and OPEB Trust Oversight Committee of June 21st, 2022. Could we start with a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you and good evening. Councilmember Sayak.
Here.
Councilmember Hudas.
Here.
Councilmember Badami.
Here.
Vice Mayor Risto.
Here.
Mayor and Chair Rennie.
Here. Thank you. Could we roll our meeting protocol video, please?
The public is welcome to participate at Town Council meetings, understanding that the purpose of the meetings is to conduct the important business of the town in an efficient and effective manner. At each meeting, the following expectations of civil conduct shall apply. 1. For the benefit of the entire community, the Town of Los Gatos asks that all speakers follow the town's meeting guidelines by treating everyone with respect and dignity. This is done by following meeting guidelines set forth in state law, in the town code, and on the cover sheet of the council agenda. 2. The town embraces diversity and strongly condemns hate speech and offensive hateful language or racial intolerance of any kind at council meetings. 3. Town council and staff are well aware of the public's right to disagree with their professional opinion on various town issues. However, antisocial behavior, slander, hatred, and bigotry statements are completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in any way, shape, or form at Town Council meetings. 4. All public comments at the Town Council meeting must pertain to items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the town and shall not contain slanderous statements, hatred, and bigotry against non-public officials. 5. The town will go through the following steps if a disturbance results from a member of the public not following these rules. If participating remotely, town staff may mute the individual with an explanation for the record of why muting occurred consistent with this policy. If participating in person, the mayor may call a recess for violation of this policy, resulting in the immediate cessation of the audio and video recording and the council exiting the chamber. Staff will determine if the individual should be removed or if all members of the public should leave, depending on the extent of the disturbance. In the event that all public members exit, only the press would be allowed back in the meeting. Once the individual or individuals leave, the council would return to the chamber and the mayor would resume the meeting. Persons disrupting a council meeting may be cited for violation of the California Penal Code Section 403. These expectations of conduct also apply to meetings of all town boards, committees, and commissions.
Thank you. So first up is our consent agenda, which consists of 2 items. Would any council members wish to pull an item from consent? Councilmember Hudas. You're still on mute.
Sorry, I was just going to move to approve when the time's right.
Okay. Let me just check to see if any members of the public wish to comment on our items on consent calendar. I don't think I see any hands, so you can go ahead and make a motion to approve.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
Councilmember Badami.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not seeing any. I will call the question. Councilmember Hudas.
Aye.
Councilmember Badami.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Risto.
Aye.
Councilmember Sayak.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye, passes unanimously. Next up is verbal communications for items not on our agenda. This is not a special meeting, so I do verbal communication, it looks like. So would any members of the public wish to speak on items not on the agenda? Not seeing any hands, I will close public comment for verbal communications and go to other business. And the first item is number 3, which is our receive the Town of Los Gatos IRS Section 115 Pension Trust account update as of March 31st. I assume I'm turning this over to Mr. Andrews.
Thank you, Mayor and Town Council. So the Oversight Committee will recall that we opened up what's referred to as an IRS Section 115 Pension Trust as a vehicle to accumulate any additional funds the council wanted to utilize towards targeting paying down the outstanding pension liability. That trust fund is still in existence, even though currently we don't have assets in it, and we maintain that trust at no cost, even though there are no assets. You'll recall that back in 2021, the last balance of $700,000 did go towards doing an additional discretionary payment towards a 2013 gain loss, and then that brought the base to zero. I will point out that the next time we report on this, you will start to see assets in this trust again per the council's general fund reserve policy, where we have two components. One is where we're moving the amortization from 30 years to 20 years. And in order to do that, we deposit about another $300,000 to $390,000 per year into the account. And then in years, if we have a surplus, there's also the option to add additional money. So at a minimum, we know we'll have the amortization coming. And once we do start to accumulate assets again, we'll meet with the Finance Commission to talk about potential options for either paying a portion of an amortization base or other options, and then return to this body. That concludes staff's report.
Questions from council members on this item? Don't see any. Let me see if any member of the public wish to address us on this item. Not seeing any. I'll close public comment, come back to council. So this is a, let's see, wait a minute. This is just an accept to report, right? So we don't need a motion.
Correct. You're just receiving the quarterly report.
Any comments or questions from council members? All right, well, seeing none, I guess we can close this item and move on to item number 4.
Thank you, Mayor and Town Council. So similar to the pension IRS 115 trust, back in 2009, the council at the time did open a trust for our OPEB benefits, what we refer to as other post-employment benefits. Over the years, that trust has accumulated a significant amount of assets. As you can see, as of March 31st, roughly 26 million in assets. You can also see that for the quarter ended March 31st, a net return of a negative 1.39%. It's interesting to note in the consent item that showed the returns for the PERF fund, they were showing up 2%. And what that illustrates is the difference in composition, because this account has more equity exposure than the PERF account. So you can see how different asset allocations will start to yield different results based on market activity. And with that, that concludes staff's report, and we're available for any questions.
All right, let me open it up to the public, see if any members of our public wish to comment. Not seeing any hands. Close public comment, come back to council for questions or comments on this. Don't see any questions or comments. I guess the report was all straightforward. So with that, we can close item number 4, which I guess ends our meeting. Any other comments from anybody? Seeing none, we'll have plenty of work to do at 7. So we'll see you back at 7, and this meeting's adjourned.